just to kind of give you a little bit of a bigger picture of the whole thing. This was fairly early. There were some more tornadoes added after this image was made, but here's kind of the whole. It says, 5 days or so, but really, for the most part, these areas 24 hours or so, maybe 30 hours. From the big event on the 27th, down into Georgia, Alabama, they got really, really hammered, got a lot of the headlines. Up in our area, that doesn't look quite as impressive as when you look at the areas down back into Alabama. But we were known about. As a matter of fact, a few days after the tornadoes, I got interviewed by an outfit, satellite radio outfit from South Africa that had people with Mideastern names doing all the contacting me, interviews, and I was just paranoid about if I was going to be able to understand them. Really, really strong act. When I first got the call, initial call, I could understand the guy pretty well. Then I got the call from the producer who's going to patch me in. It was like every 15th word I could understand. Then when he patched me into the guy that did the interview, I could understand him. But even East Tennessee did get international attention out of this, not only Alabama. So anyway, and like I said, we did add quite a few social media like it is. We got a bunch of tornado reports. It's kind of apples and oranges compared to 1974. There's no email in 1974. How many TV stations did you have back in 1974? No Weather Channel, no internet. Just so much easier to find out about tornadoes now. So I think maybe the most direct comparison I could think of, comparing 1974 to now, because we even measure tornadoes differently. We have a new scale. We do things a little bit more systematically now than we did back in the 70s. Even from 10 years ago, we actually have a whole table of things we look at. We can use trees, we can use buildings, we can use school buildings, etc. I thought maybe the most accurate parallel for our area is to compare F2 or greater tornadoes, because that's when you get into more significant damage. They're called significant tornadoes. So F2 back in 1974, EF2 in 2011. So when you're comparing 18 tornadoes overall to 54 tornadoes, 53 tornadoes, whatever we ended up with, it looks like it blows it out of the water. When you compare EF2s or greater for East Tennessee and Southwest Virginia, ended up with 9 in 1974 and 12 in 2011. So there, I thought that, at least for me personally, kind of scaled things. That it definitely was of that magnitude of that from 74, if not exceeding it. Fatalities are certainly higher too, but the population's a lot higher. Some of these counties that got hit are 50 to 60% higher population than they were in 1974. So much better warnings than there were. I have a feeling, and I don't have any basis for this other than just kind of a gut feeling that meteorologists go with gut feelings sometimes, that if there hadn't been us with timely warnings and the educational process, the media getting the word out, that our 35 fatalities we had in our area would have been over 200. I think it would have been probably less than 1,000, probably more than 100. I'm just thinking 200 as a ballpark figure without accurate warnings in the media. All of us working in partnership to get that out. So, and Tim and I out on the road, Howard, heard some stories from people. We kept on moving, looking at a lot of damage, so we didn't stop for every single story, but we did hear a lot of people that took action, either got in the right place in their home or business, whatever, and survived the tornado. Some of the tornadoes so strong that even that wasn't enough, and several people that just plain didn't think, they were paying attention to this from Alabama on, and they're like, I don't think our structure is strong enough. They went to somebody else's place, and their place got wiped out, and they survived because they left, hours ahead of time. So just the fact that the watch has been in place for hours, and we've been talking about this, and the media talking about this for days, that a huge severe weather event was coming, and a high risk that day, which you only see a few of those per year if you pay attention to the Storm Prediction Center. So a lot of things came together that day meteorologically in the atmosphere, but a lot of things came together that day to, I think, save a lot of lives as well. Okay, so you can see the legend there. No EF5s in the area, but we had some EF4s certainly, and some really strong tornadoes on up well past midnight up into southwest Virginia. And if this shape looks odd, that's what we call our county warning area. We have 40 counties total, 33 in East Tennessee, 2 in southwest North Carolina, and then 5 in southwest Virginia up here. That's our area, and every county has some hometown National Weather Service office. This is kind of on the fly. Thursday, the event was Wednesday. Thursday was getting our arms around what has happened in our counties. And from the time I left, I guess about, Tim and I left about maybe 1 in the morning that Wednesday night. Our Sue, Dave Holtz, who was here just a little while ago showing you the radar, he stayed deep into the night. Tim and I knew we'd have to get out first thing in the morning to go survey the worst of the areas to try to just get a handle on that. And so there were fatalities before we left, and then I was checking my BlackBerry the next morning, and David sent out one report after another about this county having this many fatalities, this one, and it's just, holy cow, it's just numbing when you start seeing several counties. So I grabbed my whiteboard out of my office and brought it into operations. We started literally just jotting down things on the whiteboard, erasing, changing columns, whatever, trying to get a handle on the fatalities for one thing. And then we'll get the number of tornadoes, et cetera, later on. And so that first day, I took off to Greene County, see Camp Creek area, and then I was going to sprint up to southwest Virginia. We knew fatalities up there in Glade Spring, and Tim took off back down to Cleveland and Chattanooga. That was Thursday. And the most numbing thing, which fortunately didn't pan out, most numbing thing, I was trying to figure out exactly where I was going to go and see where the tracks were in Greene County, Washington County. And Tim came in and gave me some sobering news. Like I said, thank goodness wasn't completely true. But the truck stop that had been hit on I-81 at exit 29 Glade Spring, he said he just heard from somebody up that way. There were 800 people in the truck stop seeking shelter, and that it had been wiped completely out, and there were hundreds of people missing. And that's the type of information that an event like this, I guess, happens. I don't know if other officers get that kind of thing. Ended up being 3 fatalities, unfortunately for that, but as one of the reasons I was planning on going up there is to feet on the ground and see exactly what happened to this truck stop, and just anticipating almost carnage or whatever. But ended up there was pretty heavy damage to the building, but as you'll see in the pictures, not at all wiped out. I don't know how those things get started, if it's intentional or not. So anyway, so we were categorizing, just trying to get a feel for how many fatalities. Had a total of 35 tornado fatalities, 1 flash flood fatality overall.